Oh, hello everyone! Welcome to a special holiday edition of the Need to Know, or as we're calling it today, the Need to Snow, or the Need to Ho Ho Ho.
Yes.
You pick.
I think it's my need to go.
Guys, I'm so excited to have you here. I'm Erik Voss. Joining me at the table are...
I love your makeup. I'm Sam Bashor over here.
I'm Mrs. Claus, Maude Garrett.
And I'm Father Christmas.
Daddy.
Papa Christmas.
I thought you were my wife, but that's okay.
Sorry.
The roles are getting
Daddy.
realigned. Well, as
There's
you know...
no laws.
Things are real fluid up north.
Yeah, it's
cold.
no jurisdiction of any kind. Well, on this show, we like to dive deep in all the biggest news each week. But guys, we're going to bring some holiday cheer to this nerdy roundup. We're drinking eggnog. These three decided to wear silly Christmas outfits and didn't tell me.
And I brought the head of my enemy.
We assume all of you are wearing your holiday outfits right now. Are you? Yeah? Why don't you tweet us pictures of, you know, that's not a good idea to ask people to tweet pictures of themselves. You don't have to do that.
Send us pics of yourself.
With
in
holiday clothes
outfits.
on. Oh my God.
Ho, ho,
What have I
ho.
done? Well, today in the Need to Go caroling, maybe. Yeah. Oh, God, we're having some fun here. We're going to lead off with a new Rockstars edition of a thing I'm calling Naughty or Nice.
Naughty or nice.
Naughty or Nice. As Old Man 2017 rubs his sleepy eyes and tucks himself in, it's time for us to review this year's highs and lows, right? The movies, the TV, other nerdy events that filled us with joy, but also the ones that left us annoyed. Bit of a rhyme. I wanted to rhyme the whole time. I'm still doing it. Just a bit. So I thought we could each share our naughty and nice. Just do it once, don't do it twice. What's one thing that happened this year that was nice for fans, both for all the women's and all the mans? The one thing that you found to be very, very naughty, but nothing too dirty that belongs in the potty.
Marty.
Yeah, so what do you guys think? What was the naughtiest this year? What was the nicest this year for you?
I got an easy answer.
Go.
Well, I don't think a lot of people would put themselves through this. Oh, man, it's tied, actually. May I put two?
Yeah.
Because they tie
Go for it.
evenly.
Have you been naughty or nice?
The Inhumans TV series.
Yes.
And the 5th installment of the Transformers series.
Ah.
A man answered a
watch
phone call. Yeah, I reviewed it. A man answered a phone call in the theater. I've never been less. I didn't care. I was more interested in what he was talking about with his podiatrist than what was happening on the screen with Optimus Prime doing whatever
Were
he
things
did.
afoot?
Oh, the podiatrist.
Because it's a doctor who works with feet.
Merry Christmas. Your gifts are fabulous.
Yes.
The Inhumans. The Inhumans series is trash, and it hurt me.
It's rough. Yeah, but what was something nice for you? What was delivered?
Hold on, how many episodes of Inhumans did you get through?
All of it.
Hey, that's so brave.
That's
I don't
discipline.
complete a lot of projects, but I sure complete most Marvel ones, and I watched all of that.
What was the best part about Inhumans and what's the worst?
There's this point when Karnak split a bullet in the air with his hand, but then it murdered someone next to him, and then that had no consequences later in the show.
I was going to say, at least there's repercussion, never mind.
No, it didn't matter at all. That show didn't matter at all. Anyways, thing that I liked, thing that was really cool for me was that I two things. Justice League wasn't that bad for me, so that was kind of a treat. And also, I really enjoyed a Star Wars movie.
Yes,
And
that's
that was very,
That's my
it's nice.
win.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ryan Johnson, and the wonderful people over at Lucasfilms for that personal gift.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just for you, Sam.
This is for me. Mm-hmm.
Well, my naughty and nice from this year is both happened in one movie, right? So I love Spider-Man Homecoming. I thought it was very, very nice. It was the personal homecoming in many ways for me. I didn't see it at my home, but whatever. The naughty thing about it was, why the hell did they put in 8 years later after the opening scene? It screwed up the timeline. It made a lot of extra work for me here, so I'm very mad. We still don't have answers to it. What a confusing thing. Why did they? So just to clarify the timeline, that event at the opening prologue of Spider-Man Homecoming was happening right after the events of the Avengers, which, as we know, happens in 2012. Then the rest of the movie is supposed to be happening after Civil War, which, as we know, happens in 2016. Why does it say 8 years later? Don't tell me it's Doctor Strange screwing with the time stone in Infinity War, because it'd be a really weird thing to do just to fix some dumb thing that Sony probably put in there. Look, I'm pretty mad about
16.
it. 16, yeah, he would also be like 20. Yeah. There's a lot of issues with it, right? Anyway, that's just my naughty and nice.
The one movie, huh?
You're mad
Just that
about
one
it.
movie, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. But overall, the movie was so nice, so charitable with its gifts of Wink at an Iron Spider, a villain who's a true blue-collar villain whose problems we relate to, a really fun Genki Lee-inspired
Hold on.
friend.
His problems were greed.
Greed. Oh, what you're talking about? Vulture,
Yeah.
Adrian Toomes. Well, he was. Well, that's right. He was pretty loaded. Once we saw his house, it was real nice. For the first act of the movie, it seemed like he was just a guy working a blue collar job like the rest of us.
Yeah, I agree. It was a
A
nice little
blue-collar
gift. It was a nice little gift from Marvel. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Mine are DC based, actually. My naughty and my nice.
I know the nice was.
But my naughty is not Justice League, as some people might think it is. It's actually Ben Affleck as a whole.
Ooh.
So Ben Affleck
Yeah.
signed on to be Batman, and he pretty much said that he would bring this character back, and he was going to direct his own standalone film, and he was going to be the next Batman. And now he doesn't really feel like it. Now he doesn't really want to. Now he's done.
It's like when you don't online shop when you're drunk on wine at night. Like, don't do that because you don't know what you're going to get. He probably signed on. He's like, I'm going to do a Batman movie. I'm going to direct it myself. I'm going to make my own
Are you on wine
Batmobile.
right now?
It's Christmas. What's on the eggnog?
Eggnog.
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 So I was doing New Zealand. Eggnog.
You mean him?
So yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed because I think that more than anything, DC really does need someone who is all in, who is super invested, and that's, you know, maybe sort of relieving Zack Snyder just from a little bit of storytelling, because he's been a very busy guy and he's had, you know, had the whole thing happen with Justice League. So yeah, I think when you put it all on one person's shoulders, that's why the Russo brothers is two of them, you know, share the load a little
Two
bit.
boys.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm Ben Affleck's my naughty, but my nice is Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was such a film that delivered so much, and it not only made superhero movies, the genre, really refreshing, but it challenged a whole new timeline and time period, which I thought was great with World War I, and it also, you know, put female directors and a female superhero really on the map. Yeah. And everyone thought that a standalone female superhero would bomb, which is why we never saw a Black Widow. But yeah, totally.
And what a pleasant surprise, too. Like, I'll admit, going into it, I didn't have high hopes just based off of DCU's track record.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the property itself. But man, going into it, oh, what a delight. Everything was fun. Gal Gadot is...
Made me tear up for
Wonderful.
happy reasons and sad reasons.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's been a long time since I've teared up for happy reasons
Yeah,
in a
right.
movie. Yeah.
I did the same. Man, it was impressive. It was great.
I'll keep mine brief. I'll put myself on the naughty list because I lied to my nephew and told him Rogue One wasn't a Star Wars movie because he said he hated Star Wars. And I said, do you want to go see a movie about spaceships and explosions and robots? And he was like, yeah, if I see any Star Wars, I'm leaving. And I said, I'm a grown-up who's paying for this. You will stay seated. So we
your
watched
nephew?
Rogue One.
You
He's
can't say that
I,
dressed as Santa.
He's 22.
But he's 39.
So what...
And then in the end, he gave the movie a 2 out of 10, but K2SO a 10 out of 10. So I feel like splitsies.
What happened when Vader shows up? He just thought it was a cameo
No,
from
by
another...
the end, he felt totally betrayed halfway through. He's like,
sure,
this is a Star Wars movie.
Uncle Tommy.
I was like, that's it. You're not even my blood nephew. He is. But it's fun to lie to kids. Anyway, my nice, I think the Crisis on Earth X crossover event for DC TV was so much better than last year's really convoluted, confusing crossover event that was kind of like we're going to make you watch Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl so that you have to understand it. This one, I was like, they're not making you really have to, like, you just want to watch the 4 episodes of it because it's a fun...
What happened?
I loved
What's
it.
the premise?
It's the multiverse. There's a universe out there where the Nazis won World War II, and they found a breach to our Earth, so they want to invade our Earth. And they have they have Nazi Supergirl, Nazi Arrow, and Reverse Flash, and they come over to our Earth. It's very scary, and they make Firestorm. They give Victor Garber a send off, and they give an amazing story for Jax. Franz, I'm not forgetting his last name, but
or something like
that. And it proves that they're both amazing actors, and I cried like a baby. It was amazing. It was an amazing event.
I loved it. I thought that was a surprise nice. So that's it.
And that's you did a video on that.
Oh, you can watch the
that's-
breakdown of it.
definitely check
There's
it out.
so many hidden little nuggets in there. It's very, very good.
And you don't have to watch Legends of Tomorrow.
No, you get it. They set it up and you get it, and they do it in a way that's not convoluted.
That's
it's very
but
funny.
I feel like last year was not that way.
You had to know every
Last year,
little
they're
bit.
like, they're like, here's a side supporting like recurring guest star from Legends of Tomorrow showing up on the crossover event. You're like, I have no clue who this is.
A little hint. Supergirl's sister has a one-night stand with Sarah from Arrow, and it's amazing. And it's like they don't work together, but since they're two very cool LGBT characters, you think they'll work together, but they don't. And it's great writing. It's an amazing storytelling beat.
That's cool.
That's great. Well, let us know in the comments down below and tweet us at New Rockstars, telling us your naughty and nice of the year 2017. I can't say naughty without like trying to imbue it with sexual tension.
Just get back on the shelf.
I'm getting back on the shelf. I'm going to judge
naughty.
the bad stuff you do.
That's not sexual.
Naughty.
Yeah.
Naughty.
Let us move on to this week's trivia question.
I'm in the mood to lose.
This
This
I can't
week's
do it again.
It looks like this week's trivia question is all about the theme of naughty and nice. Good segue. Could have been better person who wrote this talking point than me. But the classic episode of Futurama, Xmas Story, introduces the terrifying robot Santa Claus, a killer robot who returns to Earth on Christmas Eve every year to murder everyone on his naughty list, which is pretty much everyone is on his naughty list. What famous actor originally voiced Santa Claus, robot Santa Claus, on Futurama?
I know this.
I have no idea.
I love this show.
And I guess it's originally because Bender voice actor John DiMaggio, who also does Fry, did the voice when he returned. But there was another more famous actor who voiced it in the original episode.
It was a big actor.
Hold on. What famous actor? Actor, not voice actor? Actor.
It says actor.
Originally voiced robot Santa Claus from Futurama, which I've seen all of maybe 2 episodes of.
Oh, you're missing out.
It's amazing. If New Rockstars was around in the late '90s, early 2000s, and honestly, the show is still on now, right? Yeah, no, I don't know. We would be breaking down.
What year
Futurama.
did this come out? Can I at least have the year?
1999.
This came out in 1999.
Yeah, this episode
It's like
aired.
4.
Ooh, what is this?
Okay.
It's like a surprise. It's someone you wouldn't. No, I'm gonna go with it.
Well, as always, the one who gets the closest answer, as revealed by our judges, will get to do our sign-off goodbyes at the end of the episode, and they can do it whatever dumb voice or amazing new character they're trying out. Or, meanwhile, if you lose, as decided by our judges, you have to read our other news, wrap-up headlines, and be hilarious on the spot. Who wants to do it? No. Yeah, sorry in advance from all of us. Moving on, guys, to our next festive story. Recently, Sophie Turner, who plays Sansa Stark on Game of Thrones, revealed in an interview. Why did you spit out your eggnog?
Because I just got the visual of her as Dark Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
had a vision?
Yeah, and everything burned alive.
Well, she recently revealed in an interview that she and the rest of the Game of Thrones cast read the scripts for the season 8 episodes, and the final episode, Turner described the experience as, quote, very, very bittersweet, unquote, saying that everyone burst into tears the moment end of Game of Thrones was read aloud. She also said this, quote, all of us have always had discussions about theories about what we think is going to happen, who's going to die, who's going to end up ruling. Now we know. It feels like another one of our theories. It just doesn't feel like that's actually what's happening. It's very satisfying. So I thought we could play along with the Game of Thrones cast because I like to pretend like they're my best friends.
First of all, really quickly, should we talk about the fact that it's bittersweet for these people because they've been in the show for more than half of their lives?
Right. So it's like saying goodbye to a high school that lasted 11 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some people that's normal.
Also, the ending of this isn't going to be the same ending as the books.
Right. It's going to have to end differently.
So I wonder how, was it Dave, DB and DB?
Yeah, DB.
Yeah, well, because the books are ending with George R. Martin getting halfway through the last one and dying of a heart attack.
Yeah.
So it just ends with
jamming
like
his fist
someone
on the keyboard.
horseback, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just,
Sending help.
The
book never ended.
The person who transcribes from just you see
My
like
heart.
help, call 911.
Oh my God,
It's like,
I think
oh, you don't want me to write this down.
It might just be gas. Hang
Yeah.
on. Oh no, it's really tight.
Well-
Something's happening.
Let's-
John and Sansa get married.
Jon and Sansa?
Yeah,
Let's
why not?
That's what he says as he's going.
Let's move on from this darkness. Let's warm ourselves up during these winds of winter with our dreams of spring. What do you guys like? You like that?
I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good one.
With this wish list segment, let's share each of our perfect endings, our idealized endings of Game of Thrones that aren't just George R. R. Martin crying for help. If this were a puppet show or fan fiction, guys, how would we end it? What do you want to see in those
First of all,
final moments?
Thank you again for having me back in the pitch room. I'm sorry our previous projects didn't work out, but let me set the stage for the final.
I'm gonna be honest. We thought you were the holiday Santa that we hired for the party. So
I am.
Okay.
But I also
Worst
have
time.
ideas, and I'm a person. So if you will please indulge me. Let's set the stage for the final 3 minutes of Game of Thrones in what I like to call the first 3 minutes of a connected universe so magical people's balls will come out of their eyes. So Jon Snow is staring at a bassinet with a child freshly born of Daenerys Targaryen. It is their love child. It is a forbidden child. It is a deathly, gravely ill child. And it looks as though the happiness of this family unit is about to be fractured to the core when rumblings can be heard all around. Everyone runs outside. A spaceship lands. It's the Millennium Falcon. Rey comes out with those caretaker walruses.
those fish
that come
people,
out.
yeah.
They come out like they go, "Bah, bah." They take the baby on board. They fly away. To be continued.
Wow. She was
Wow.
really the kids.
The writers of Game of Thrones are freaking out right now because you just spoiled exactly
How
what they
did he
had.
know?
That's what was so satisfying about the end because they hadn't seen the new Star Wars
That's
yet.
right.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
So mine's going to be the epic showdown, obviously between the Night King and his new dragon, and the two remaining dragons, and then Dany and Jon side by side. It is the Song of Fire and Ice. So you've got Dany there with her fire. Maybe she can
Do they
conduct.
sing?
Yeah, it's a song of fire and ice. So
We are the fire, you are the ice.
there it is.
We are nice, you are naughty.
Yes.
They were so close to getting it to
All you
rhyme.
had to do was flip them around and it
No,
rhymed.
no, not Game of Thrones. It's not about rhyming, guys.
It's not
That's
poetry.
timing.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously that showdown. Again, I'm so obsessed with like the two sides running at each other, but it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be an explosion. It's gonna be good. So yeah, it's gonna be Jon and Dany side by side. We're probably gonna lose another dragon.
Or all of them.
Tyrion, what do you reckon? Dead? Alive?
I think Tyrion's gonna make it. I mean, okay, I powered through all of Game of Thrones this summer, and I had like by the end of it, I was so obsessed with it. I tried to plan it all out. It's all escaping me right now, but I remember what I wanted to happen. I wanted Tyrion to survive, and I think we're gonna lose we're gonna lose Jon or Dany or both, and leave like
The
Tyrion.
love child.
Yeah, we're gonna leave the love child. That was so. I'm not happy that they're related. I'm not happy about that. I'm gonna
But
be honest.
I love
Targaryens,
it.
it's not a thing for Targaryens.
I know, and that's such a weird thing that normal people are saying.
I wish
That they're
they were
like,
more
no, it's
related.
okay.
Yeah,
you
there
don't-
are
But it's
so
all
many
fictional.
people
They're
that
not
are
two
like-
people actually together. They're
I
not
know, but
real.
it's just this idea
wish the
now
actors were
implanted in
related.
people's heads that like, no, our favorite characters are related, so it's okay that they're having.
It
a
is
baby.
also strange
I want
that in
them
the
to be
world
twins.
of pornography, incest porn has never been more popular either.
I wouldn't know.
I would. Anyway.
I would really love a moment like if one of those javelins from the Night King or one of their extreme instruments, they flung it and it landed just above Tyrion's head. So any other person would have died.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Short joke.
I
Like,
love
like when you're playing GoldenEye in
Odd
Nintendo
Job.
64 and you
Odd
play
Job.
as Odd Job and no
Yeah.
one can shoot
Boom,
you.
boom, come on.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And no one ever plays Jaws because why would you?
Yeah, he's huge. He's a
But I'm-
lumbering asshole. So
I would
mark it
like.
down, I swore.
No, I'd like it if they both ended like that was their send off or whatever, and you get them going on their boat to the Neverland of whatever and the Lord of the Rings, whatever you do some kind of grand send off for both of the characters. You get the kid going on to be the king. You have Tyrion being the right hand person, and Jaime. I want him to just be happy in any way, but he's probably gonna die also.
Probably.
Everyone's gonna die.
My idea for it is I think Tyrion's going to live. I think that baby that we saw Jon just plant in his aunt is going to be born. I think both his parents are going to be gone. And I think the baby is going to come out of the womb with little Tyrion-style legs. And it's going to be the dwarf is the next heir to the Iron Throne. And dwarf is the show's term. It's not my term. I don't think, is that an
Really
I
big
thought
thing
I
to
was
say.
about
Dwarf's
I honestly
okay.
It's
thought you were
okay.
going to say it unfurled its wings.
Right, yeah, oh yeah. Hello, I was about to get
Well,
there.
they call him the imp and the half man.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna
know
say
the show
gills.
goes out of their way to be sensitive.
Yeah, I think
So no
there's
spaceships?
no spaceships.
Okay,
That's
well,
for
you guys
you.
are
I don't want
pretty
to take that
close,
away
Actually,
from
do
you.
you know what I would like with a little nod to that? Jamie gets a new hand and he's like testing it out.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The technology of the Lucas universe merged with Game of Thrones would be unstoppable.
Well, let us know how you would like Game of Thrones to end. It was interesting that Sansa, Sophie Turner, said bittersweet because that is the term George R. R. Martin has used to describe how he intends the ending to be. So maybe that's just
Maybe
like
that's
a
blanket.
memo that was
Maybe
sent
it's
All
a
I have to
script.
say it.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. I thought we could look at 2017 by the numbers, guys. And I think it's very telling. A very telling number about how we spent our time this year is 140 million. 140 million is the number of hours per day people around the world watch on Netflix. Yeah. The streaming Goliath released some fun 2017 viewership numbers, which, by the way, is really rare for Netflix. Normally, they're hush-hush about their show's exact ratings. They know. They don't want us to know because they don't worry about advertising. They're all about their secrecy with their algorithms and whatnot.
Yeah.
Some other fun facts include one person watched Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl 365 days in a row. The show,
curse.
the show that people devoured the most, they said, that means watched the most in a single day, was American Vandal. That's a true crime mockumentary. It's so
That
great.
show's amazing.
So
Still
fantastic.
haven't watched it.
It's amazing.
Super funny. And the show that people were most likely to watch ahead of their significant others was Narcos.
That's fun.
And the show that people were most likely to watch with as a family was Stranger Things.
It's not really family friendly.
Not exactly.
Not really.
Unless you consider, Bob and Steve Harrington to be the mother and father of that family, which I do, right? Anyway, what was each of your favorite thing that you watched this year, binged this year on Netflix?
Oh, so many things I'm binging, huh?
I'd recommend New Girl. I got into that. I caught up with it. I think it's the best comedy that's on TV right now. Fight me about it. It's one of the best written, best improv, and the characters are amazing.
Yeah.
That's me.
Personally, for me, I mean, the ones that were mentioned here are all things that I really, really loved, especially American Vandal. The documentary called Jim and Andy, that was Jim Carrey playing Andy Kaufman in the movie Man of the Moon. They had behind-the-scenes footage that Jim Carrey insisted to record during the movie, and you see his method acting, because Andy Kaufman, if you don't know, was this famous inspirational performance artist comedian who created anti-comedy or meta-comedy. Everyone likes to consider themselves the next Andy Kaufman, including probably Jim Carrey at some point. But to see Jim Carrey do this take of Andy Kaufman was such an enlightening experience to see why Jim Carrey's been a bit kind of unhinged lately, been a bit kind of out
A
there.
lot of explanation.
Berating young hosts on the red carpet.
Right, yeah.
about
What are we
their
doing here? What are
existence.
we all doing
You
here?
don't
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, Fashion Week's very superfluous, so I
Yeah, but then
understand.
just don't go.
Fair.
Then
That's-
don't show up.
Yeah.
You don't have
He
to
still
walk
showed
the
up
red
wearing a
carpet.
nice suit.
You don't have to attack a host on the red carpet.
Those people will be fine not being berated by their hero, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Also, no one wanted Jim Carrey there. I wasn't like,
Right.
what's he gonna do there?
yeah.
What's he gonna wear?
Yeah.
It's very fashion
That was a
forward.
really good movie. That was
Yeah.
super
The series he wears in
fascinating.
the mask is incredible.
It is.
Smoke it. My favorite thing to watch on Netflix this year was the kittens crawling in front of the Yule log. I live along.
And just that loop that.
Yeah, just that loop. And also the "Are you still watching?" screen, because it's nice to know that someone out there cares about you
Yeah.
and wants
Every
to know
time,
if you've
yeah.
died in
Yeah.
front of your television.
Do you
Which
think there
I
should
wouldn't
be
do
a
anyway.
timer when it calls
Supposed to make you
911?
fallen asleep,
Yeah, that's true.
which I still have.
And Stranger Things. I like Stranger Things.
Stranger
too.
Things was great. Mindhunter was really great. We
Yeah, I
actually
liked
doing
it.
a wrap up of all of our favorite TV and movies. I made sure to include Mindhunter on
Oh,
that.
very cool.
Luke Cage too. Was that this year?
Last
Luke
year.
Cage was last year. We had
Punisher, though.
I watched it this year though. So
Yeah, there you go. Punisher, though, is a secret little Easter egg. If you guys were on the fence about it, go check it out. It's the most solid Netflix Marvel show I think
Yes.
they've made.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I did a video on it.
I'm going through all mine. It's kind of nice to go down memory lane. I watched new season of Magicians, which is cool. Finished off Sherlock, which was great.
Wow.
Dark Matter, it was all right. Riverdale, big fan of. I watched Mindhunter
I
as
did
well.
watch Riverdale too on Netflix.
Sense8. Did anyone watch Sense8?
What'd you think?
I liked it.
Oh.
I really dug Sense8. It's basically where there's about 8 people all around the world that can tap into each other's thoughts and
Oh no, I wouldn't want that.
process. Yeah, there's some moments like
They
that.
better be pretty open-minded.
And then Glow, I thought was a refreshing
Whoa,
new piece of
yeah.
content.
Mark Maron's getting nominated for acting awards.
Yeah, I know.
What a time to
He
be
was
alive.
great in it.
He was
though.
so good.
Are
but,
any of the
like,
women getting nominated for acting awards
No,
in that?
women don't count in Hollywood.
Yeah, Alison Brie.
Alison Brie,
Brie,
sorry. Good.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Alison Brie did, and their stunt
She was
team.
amazing
Their
in
stunt
it.
team got nominated.
Oh,
for a SAG
perfect.
award.
Yeah.
Also, Friends from College. Did anyone see that comedy?
No,
it
was it good?
starring Colby Smulders and
Keegan-Michael Key.
there it is.
Yeah.
I kind of liked it. It was good. I was also very sick that entire week when I binged it, so it came in handy.
All right.
There you go. But yeah, shout out obviously. Hopefully new Black Mirror.
Oh, can't wait.
Yeah.
That is
my
next week, a
goodness.
week from tonight, December 29th. Make sure. Oh, I can't
will
wait to
watch
talk
it
about
Is
it.
that the
Yeah.
Star Trek
29th,
episode?
30th, 31st. So this year.
There
Is
you
there a
go.
Star Trek
They're
episode?
doing a Star Trek
Yes,
episode.
they are. They are
I
doing
didn't
it.
know
and-
that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! And there's a black and white one that I'm so excited for.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
man. Okay, moving on to our Need to Know lightning round.
Oh.
You guys are so nice to tweet in your questions that you have for each of us. I'm going to ask all of us these questions, starting with Maude. Who do you think should play a young Princess Leia if Leia does appear in the Han Solo movie?
Well,
That is
who
from
put
Zeitel.
side to side? I think someone put side to side Daenerys Amelia Clarke, and it actually looked a little bit. Oh no,
Interesting.
wait, she's already in.
Yeah, she's
Solo.
in it already.
she
Who
is,
was
yeah.
it then? Someone put it side by side. I know that there's a Sebastian Stan next to Luke Skywalker, and that is
That's pretty cool.
perfect. Someone, oh gosh, it's gonna rack my brain. There was a side by side with a young Leia, and it was spot on. Can you come back to me?
Alicia Vikander.
Chloe
Oh.
Kardashian.
Just take that back.
No, keep it
Tatiana
forward. Yeah, keep going.
Maslany. Tatiana Maslany.
Oh, Tatiana
Who do you
Maslany.
got?
Okay, cool.
Tatiana
I know it says
Ali.
lightning round, so I can't actually pause to Google and find out the real answer. So
Yeah.
yes, Tatiana Maslany would be great,
That's great.
She does every role.
and she can do British well.
Thomas Bechtold.
That's
Wait,
me.
that doesn't mean any sense.
Best on-screen couple.
Oh.
Ricardo wants to know.
Best in general?
Yeah.
Okay.
Us.
Best on-screen. Well, besides these two crazy kids trying to make it right, I would say my best on-screen couple this year was. It was Luke Skywalker milking the green milk out of that walrus thing. Because
They really were.
he definitely felt like he was going to take it straight from the teat if she
Yeah.
wasn't watching.
Yeah.
If Ray wasn't there, he was just going to go. But
That-
instead, he went.
But
Yeah.
it sounds like it's the relationship where both are giving and both are getting something out of
Right.
it.
It's purely mutual.
There was eye contact, and the thing went like.
Yeah, he's into it.
Like, come on back.
I say he.
next
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I love you, Luke. I wish I could tell you how I feel.
Sam, do you consider yourself a Jedi or a Sith? DeSanta wants to know.
Oh, from what I know, the Sith.
You're a Jedi,
Yeah.
honey. I'm
Probably Wonder Bread. I'm a Jedi. I'm the tax guy of the Republic. Who lifting pens around?
You're the little broom boy. Just goes, sweep, sweep, sweep. Why does he use the broom? Why doesn't he just use the force to sweep
And
up
just push it all out of the
three
way?
things of straw that he has to clean up? Also, what a job for that kid. Nothing. There was like 3 little blades of grass he had to
Get
go
back
and
to work. All right, this
Ooh,
is a
I'm
stable.
looking
I
at
It's
just counted 3
and
blades
they
of
put a
grass.
ring on it for him. They're like,
They did.
you're engaged to the Republic.
And then Dallas wants to know, for me, what music do you listen to?
The question is great. I'm just Voss is such a scandal.
turn on. This is what I do. I turn on my local NPR station, and if people aren't talking, I turn it off and put on a podcast. And that's the music I listen
The
to.
music of the English language.
The intro music leading into to the
Serial.
daily podcast or serial.
Bum, 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 bum,
Here's what else you need to know. Yeah.
Here's
So
for
there
the
we go.
HGO
Thank you for
I learned
sending
a
us those
lot.
questions. I feel like we all learned a lot about each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, now comes the time for our 15-second shout-out, where each of us has 15 seconds to shout out, plug, or ramble about anything we want. Sam, why don't you start?
Oh, geez. Okay, 15 seconds. It's a holiday time. I'm going to rewatch Shout Out. Everyone loves this already, but San Junipero. You want a little positive time
Yeah.
during the holiday season? Watch
Yeah.
some San Junipero. It's beautiful. It's the only thing I've ever watched ever that makes me weep just uncontrollably, but good tears.
Wait, where does it tell you what it's from?
Black Mirror.
Thank you.
Netflix. You can find it on Netflix.
Season 3 of,
But
it's
San
so
Junipero.
great. So fantastic. Okay, so my shout-out, I watch this, or I'm going to start watching this every year on the holidays. 1996, Patti LaBelle sang at the National Christmas tree lighting in front of the White House, and there's a technical error where the band starts playing and they never stop. Her background singers do not show up, and she just makes it work. Where my background?
Oh, no!
And she just has to invent the words because she doesn't really know it, and the person with her cue cards is running behind. She
But when
goes,
she sings, it's
"This
magical.
Christmas." Oh, and her voice is great. It made me
So
fall in love with
good.
Patti the bell
And
even
then,
more.
ladies and gentlemen, we have a solo from, I can't remember his name, honey, bring the card
She has to
back.
give a shout out to a veteran who's in the band,
Playing the clarinet.
and she's just trying to make it work. She's so sweet.
I've never heard of
She goes, "Girl, flip that
It's
card,
so
flip that
good.
card. I need my card, girl." And she's so
Like
funny.
singing it. Come on, do it faster.
I don't know the words.
This Christmas.
This Christmas.
Amazing,
So great.
amazing. My shout out is going to be I'm watching or have watched Sinespia Home Alone in my pajamas.
Ah.
So there's an outdoor cinema here in Hollywood, and it's a pajama party, but Home Alone on Christmas. Like,
That's great.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Home
sounds
Alone
so fun.
3 with Alex D. Linz. I like that one. That's my.
That's your truth. That's your,
Yeah.
Everyone loves their first Kevin McAllister.
And a fun fact: the Sugar Plum Fairy, the I could play that when I was 13 on a xylophone.
Oh.
That was fun. Cool.
My shout out is just a nice call to action in this holiday season. Tip people well. People that have to work around Christmas is I mean, as someone who has worked on Christmas Day before, it means so much more if you're just not a cheap asshole. Sorry. Jerk. So, yeah, if you have the money, give them a decent tip. If you don't have the money, I don't know, just be nice to them then.
You can't spell presents without sense.
Oh, yeah.
That's very true.
Sense8
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Pretty good, man.
All right. Well, let us move on to the trivia question that we asked about earlier. And then you want to take Tommy's? Yeah. Okay. So the question, just to remind you guys, in Futurama, what famous actor originally voiced the robot Santa Claus from
Ooh.
Xmas?
All right. Should we
But I
read out
was
the
gonna-
Yeah.
answers?
Let's work our way down.
Maude said Bruce Willis.
Yeah, you can't have Christmas without Bruce.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Big Bruce Willis.
Sam says Bob Hoskins.
It was a surprise. I remember it's a surprise person.
Yeah.
It's not him.
Papa Noel says Kevin Spacey. Wah, wah.
Because we'd be sad, but yet would have treasured the performance at the time and lauded him for how good it was. But now we'd be like, I hate that performance
It
because
was
of the man. Dan Castellaneta, in parentheses, Homer on The Simpsons.
Right. That's
for
a.
Pretty
I,
Ricky Boston.
I
was
feel like
gonna
they would have had a
say that.
crossover. Homer
Well,
from The
that's-
Simpsons. Yeah.
That's why I said, was it voice actor or
Right.
actor?
Well, he's an actor as well.
Yeah.
Right. He's been in Veep and stuff. All right. So our answer is yes, John Goodman. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. I can hear
John
it now.
Goodman reminds me of my dad.
I feel like Bob Hoskins is the closest physically to John Goodman. So.
Yeah.
Don't win it.
I think you win.
They win it. That's probably not ever happened. I'm
And
really
then
bad at
of
this.
the
You won
losers.
it.
They won it.
Well done.
Losers Papa
Steve.
Noel. Papa Noel has to do.
Papa
our-
Noel.
Yeah.
I mean, like, look, I wasn't trying to be provocative, but he's a
went
famous
there.
actor that you wouldn't expect,
Papa,
who we
go
now
to hell.
all hate.
Yeah.
Going
Fry
to
and
hell.
Bender. I'm gonna talk like this, and that constitutes
Oh,
acting
well,
choices.
don't you feel bad for old Fry and Bender. They had what's coming.
Okay, well, the winner will do our goodbyes and making fun of our names and Twitter handles, however you like, Mr. Bashor. But first, we're going to quickly run through some of the other news headlines that we didn't have time for this week. And bottom line, Bechtold, as the loser of the trivia question, you're going to have to read these. And at the end of each headline, you have to make a little joke
No
or
problem.
cleverly
It's
riff
been
on
fun
it.
doing this show again. Thanks for having me back. I'm sure I won't after this. Great.
Okay, take it away.
According to the Dish Network, Die Hard was one of the most watched movies on Christmas Eve last year, beating out Home Alone and The Santa Claus. If you have enough time to watch Die Hard at Christmas by yourself, you must be hard to kill, but you will die alone. Forbes listed Mark Wahlberg as the most overpaid actor last year,
Yes.
making $68 million from his movies, which was more than the worldwide box office total of his movie Patriots Day. None of that money went to the blind man that he beat up as a child, that we just gloss over and love Mark Wahlberg and always forget what a terrible person he was. Logan director James Mangold weighed in on Disney's buyout of Fox's film studio, concerned about the potential lack of future R-rated superhero movies in favor of ones that can sell Happy Meals and action figures. Very on point, James Mangold. These movies are for adults and should not be enjoyed by children. A magical man who can heal fast and have claws made of knives should only be viewed by people over 18. Thank you for having the right perspective, because God forbid any child enjoy the magic of comic books, you pretentious asshole. Justice League, despite being considered a box office bomb, has gone on to make over $650 million worldwide, making it the most profitable box office bomb in history. The second most profitable box office bomb was the bomb at the end of Inglourious Basterds that killed Hitler. That was a gun.
Profitable?
Yeah,
Spoiler.
I mean,
Yeah.
probably at the end.
That's good. That's it. You did it. You
great.
got him. Well done.
Thank you.
Oof, boy. All right.
God forbid.
Sorry to James Mangold's family, but not to him because I still think that was a dick response.
All right, Sam, you take away our goodbyes.
Oh, well, it's the Christmas spirit, so I want to be nice. So I'm going to go ahead and read off their names, and then everyone say something that you've been working on or that you're proud of, or just a shout out. So I'll start over with Tommy at Tommy Bechtold on Twitter.
Hi, thanks. Tommy Bechtold. You can watch me in the final season of The Middle this year on ABC.
Really? That's amazing. Oh, well, Maude Garrett at Maude Garrett on Twitter.
I've been working on a video series called The Smodcast with Sam Bashor.
Oh.
And we've done about 6 or so episodes, all available on my YouTube channel, Geek Bomb, or you can jump over to his Only Stupid Answers Patreon to listen to it if you are like Erik and need to listen to words.
Yeah.
And then Voss, Erik Voss, what have we been working on?
How about a channel called New Rockstar? They let me be on the camera. If you live in the LA area, come to the iOS Theater to watch some very funny improv and sketch comedy. You can be there on
Good
Tuesday
plug.
nights and you'll see me.
Wow.
Gotta be over 21 though. Sorry, kids.
Oh, well, at Sam Bashor's me, Smallcast, go check that out because it's fun. We answer your questions. Also, I do Only Stupid Answers is the best damn podcast you can put your ears into. This is a
Nice.
it's an okay slogan, but that's what we run
I don't
with.
know. I think our tagline's a lot better for Smodcast.
It's a never ending.
Smodcast is the best podcast
You can answer
that you can. Well, I mean, sometimes we answer your questions.
How are people going to go to a comedy theater that's 21 and over when they're going to be so busy watching R-rated movies?
That's true.
Because that's what those movies are for.
Everyone's there dressed as Logan, dressed as Wolverine.
And Deadpool.
That, they'll have to fall back on improv comedy.
Right.
The movies aren't for us anymore. Now the comedians carry the burden.
Comment down below and tweet us at New Rockstars using the hashtag needtoknow. Like this video, share it around. Subscribe to New Rockstars for deep dives into stuff you love. Oh, thank you so much for watching us. We hope you have a happy holidays.
no, the
I will be watching you. Back to the North Pole for me. See, happy holidays.
Eric's got a lot of characters in him, and I'm proud.